Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Terra Cactus. We're going to be playing a game on Game Jolt today. I'll choose English, thank you very much. Guilty Parade. Interesting. Let's increase that text speed. Auto, forward time. Turn the music down a bit. That should be good. I like it there. Full screen. Skip all text. All choices. I think we're good. New game. Let's see where this goes. It's supposed to be a storybook game of sorts. Please bear it for a little longer. It will be all over soon. Just a little longer. Everything is going to change. A new world is waiting for us, for the humanity. You'll soon see the next stage of evolution shall come. You and I will be there to see it. Everything looked blurry. I could hardly avoid bumping into trees. A bear, an absolute bare pine forest. There's nothing to hide. They would find me. With each step, harder and harder to breathe, as if my feet were getting heavier. Where should I run? I stumbled over a branch lying on the ground. I fell down with a loud thud. Damn it. Damn it. A gray, cloudy sky spread in front of me. A cold drop fell into my eye as I came to my eyes closed tight. Where was I? How did I get here? My hand felt heavy. I feel pain growing stronger inside of it. It's hard to think straight. I tried to move, but I couldn't control my body. Raindrops started hitting my face harder, but along with the noise and the upcoming storm, I could hear human voices nearby. I closed my eyes once again and tried to focus. Suddenly, something ice-cold touched my cheek. 3 vague figures leaning over me started to discuss something loudly. Did you know this guy? Maybe. He's a fugitive? Or a spy? It seems that I reached my destination. While backing out, I blurbed something out that I shouldn't have. Could it finally make it this time? Hey! That voice sounded as if it was coming from the bottom of the ocean. Through closed eyelashes, I could make out a person in a uniform, but I felt weak to take a closer look. All of a sudden, ice-cold water poured over me, leaving me wet from head to toe, quickly bringing me to my senses. Don't pretend to be deaf. I opened my eyes but was forced to narrow eyeballs right away. The blinding light from the lamp smiting right there in my face. Wouldn't let me get a good look at anything but a lad in a uniform. The gaze's absolutely black eyes wouldn't even spot the moment. He was studying me with a mixture of interest and imprisonment, while completely blocking the view of his body. So it seemed like there was no one else around, just the two of us. I wanted to move away from him, but I couldn't. My hands are tied, my legs too. What's going on? Where am I? I looked around. stood a plump guy with a joyful smile on his face, and drops of water with an empty bucket. His hands were still shining brightly. Next to him stood an angry girl. I was about to open my mouth and I couldn't say anything in the end. It was hard for me to concentrate. It seemed like I would start panicking at any moment because I couldn't understand what was going on at all. What kind of obscure room is this? Where am I? Who were these people? Chains, iron grips, and sharp hooks were hanging from everywhere. There was bonding plaster debris lying on the floor. I started breathing heavily. I got really scared because of the feeling of complete emptiness in my head. I couldn't remember anything. Anything after all. My heart was pounding in a frenzy. Who are they? Who am I? God damn it. In the corner of the room, a tall man was initially waiting down something. He was looking in my direction. I couldn't make out more than just a slipper of a hand of a soldier in front of me, pressed into my chair. Who are you, and what are you sniffing around here for? Who am I? That was the question. I couldn't even answer myself. The soldier was patient, but didn't ask a word while I was gasping, gaping silently. Who am I? How did I get here? I don't know. I can't remember a thing. With renewed vigor, fear paralyzed my mind and body. I wasn't afraid of the people around me. I was afraid of myself. I was afraid of what oblivion, lack of memories were about my own life. Seems like he won't start kissing. Wait. He hasn't gotten back to his senses. For a moment, the soldier looked in his eyes and often glanced to his comrade. Only for a moment, I could take a deep breath without feeling hard looks at me. Who are you? It was persistent. It seemed like he could see right through my soul with his black eyes. It scared me even more. Even though I had nothing to hide, my intuition told me not to give in to my feelings. What is the purpose of your visit? I didn't answer. Where are you from? The soldier slapped me with his hand with all of his strength, which made my head spin to the side. How long do you plan to give us the silent treatment? He's not gonna talk. Perhaps we got some water will help. The plump guy raised a bucket and started shining the light in the lamp even brighter. The girl who was keeping silent the whole time shoved me in my shoulder with all her might. Answer who you are immediately, or you're gonna mute yourself. After all, or would you like to test the harder interrogation techniques yourself? She showed an iron tool in her hand, which she had brought with her. I'd never seen it before. I couldn't understand what it was used for. I gotta turn this music down. Holy shit. Oh my god, it's so loud. It seemed like a girl understood that it was the case, and she smirked. I'll show you how to use it. She made me step towards me. What's rough? He's about to start talking. So her name is Ruff. Perhaps I should remember that. Despite her readiness, it was used brutal force. I continued to keep silent. What should I tell them? I don't remember anything, but they're not likely to believe that. I don't even understand what I'm going on. What should I do? Well, you're going to talk or not? I don't remember anything. He's lying. Right after I closed my mouth, Ruff poked me with her pointy finger. Those are just some stupid excuses. No one's gonna believe such nonsense. We're at war. Perhaps he's shell-shocked. Ruff is right. Do you remember he was... You found him, don't you? Could I finally make it? Could I finally make it this time? Did I say something like that? Can't be. I don't remember anything like that at all. That's right. Wolfgang remained us how it happened. The soldier who was persistently writing down something throughout over the conversation looked up from his notebook. I'd better remember Wolfgang's name too. He quickly started rustling through the pages, burrowed his face into his notes once again. I didn't sleep well that night. Must have been some beans in the meat sauce that it gave me a bad effect to my stomach. Not that. Tell us about the moment you found this guy. Wolfgang looked up from his note and gazed at Ruff in a slight hint of irritation, but then borrowed his face from his notes once again. I could hear the sound of a page turning. I saw a missile flash over my head, and the sky was dark and rain full of loneliness and sorrow. It was just like my mood of the dreadful moment of my life was there for the pour heavy clouds at any moment. The battlefield was marked all over with corpses and the fallen who were fighting what was right. However, neither of them aggravated parties wanted to throw in the towel. Wait. Do we really need to write all that down like that? Ruff quickly approached Wolfgang, swiftly snatched a notebook from his grasp. She looked through it with a sour frustration expression on her face. She gave it back to its owner. Wolfgang tightly pressed the diary to his chest and turned away. What a crying shame. I liked it, actually. It's so exuberant, your mind starts drawing the scene from you right away. Ahem. The quiet sound of someone clearing their throat, another person in uniform reminding everyone about his presence. The interrogator touched his forehead with the tips of his fingers. Wolfgang continued reading. Wolfgang was still standing with his back to us. He nodded feebly and continued to stare at it. Continued, straining his voice. Amidst the whole outrage, Ruff put his arms around Helga's waist and drew close, trying to hide the precious person from the merciless bullets. What? Why'd you do that, huh? Please continue. Wolfgang looked over his shoulder for a moment, then he continued reading while hunching his back even more. Soon the field of death got empty, and a small squad was counting the losses. Come here quickly, shouted Doris. We rapidly dashed towards her. She pointed out that one was wounded and wearing our uniforms. Who is that? We asked. Astonishment, as we'd never met the person who was helplessly spread on the ground in front of our eyes. It was not from our unit, noted Yakov, but where'd he come from? He couldn't be here. Perhaps he was a spy. Ruff happily rubbed her hands at the whole words. He was still alive, which meant he might be able to tell us something interesting. Shall we torture him, Yakov? She playfully shoved him with his elbow. However, Yakov did not share the enthusiasm. Focused, he got down the suspicious person. We found and checked the pulse for a few minutes. We're making assumptions, but at the same point injured slightly. Opened his eyes and looked for the endless sky heavy with clouds. Suddenly his lips moved. Yakov drew his sound-sensitive ear to his mouth and attentively heeded his words. Could I finally make it this time? Whispered the stranger. Delirious, he closed his eyes and sank deep into a black abyss of unconsciousness. Wolfgang fell quiet for a few seconds. The whole room sank in silence. Well, what a story, Mr. Spy. What are you gonna say about it? I remained silent. I didn't remember any of that. I didn't remember anything at all. As if my life was starting only a few moments ago. The whole story was about someone else. I don't remember that. Some more water, perhaps? Yeah, do that. That should help him get his memory back. At that very same moment, icy water poured over my body. My teeth chattered from the cold, my skin covered in goosebumps. Well, Mr. Nimoy, would you prefer more brutal interrogation? How did you learn his name? You serious, Oliver? You know what the Latin word Nimoy is? I thought it was a common concept. It was still hard for me to grasp. Nobody wanted to believe that. Hey, you, Nimoy. Hey, you, Nemo. What you got a thought? I looked up at the roof. I think it's better confessed, perhaps, that I could help me somehow. I think I have amnesia. I thought people with amnesia can't talk. Can they? Well, they work that way. Perhaps his skins were with him, he just doesn't have the memories. Silence fell inside my cold at once. Intense gave of black eyes. The nameless soldier did not believe that. Don't you think it's way too convenient, Mr. Nemo? Mr. Nemo, just tell people that you have amnesia right away. Well, clearly, in all suspicion, this is what you're thinking. No, it doesn't work that way. You're just lying. Out of nowhere, ice water poured over me again. The interrogator bounced back. He was clearly excited at that. Piercing cold overwhelmed me, causing stupor. What the hell are you doing, Oliver? Why did you do that? I started taking over each while Wolfgang quietly cracked a laugh at me. Well, our boy Nemo is lying after all, and according to the manual rules, there should be punishment for disobedience without holding information. A man of snow-white uniform, standing in the shadow of the room, the whole time interrupted the quarrel and started near me. Enough, I will deal with this from here. When he approached, the soldiers humbly made way for him. It seemed like he was in charge. He actually looked much older than the rest. The man came up to me, almost touching my knees. He was barely sternly looking down at me. He leaned towards me, roughly grabbing my chin. I started turning from my face, one side or another. I wanted to try to free myself from his grip, but he wouldn't let me. Amnesia, you say? Interesting. He was mumbling those words under his breath. I wouldn't even hear them. It wasn't so disturbingly close. The man was examining my all sides a little longer. I couldn't understand what he could possibly catch his interest in complete common face. At the very same moment, I understood that myself did not remember what it looked like. Perhaps there was something unusual about my appearance. So he straightened and stepped back. Do not look at me with such menacing gaze. I was trying to understand whether I saw you before or not. I said nothing, but a pleasant feeling of my own helplessness continued to tear me apart on the inside. My name is Ulrich Wenger. I'm not here. I am sure, but does this name tell you anything? Well, judging from your reaction, it means absolutely nothing to you. I am the commander of this unit. First of all, I would like to clarify some things, understand whether you can be trusted. What is your favorite meal? I don't remember. Well, in that case, perhaps you'll be able to answer the next question. 7 times 8. 56. Not bad. This means you still have core knowledge. Do you know anything about your parents? I shook my head. Date of birth? No, I don't remember either. If so, then share the memories you can remember. His voice became soft and quiet. That allowed me to calm a bit, bringing myself to speak frankly. The only thing I remember is waking up here from ice water. I stopped and I gazed at Oliver, who smiled at me encouragingly. That means you do not understand what was going on here at this time, right? I nodded. And you have any idea what this war is going on? I shook my head. Ulrich Wanger started brooding over something while he looked at me. Everyone kept silent at the time. The nameless soldier broke the silence. Commander, do you really believe him? And why should I not? But he's not even from our unit. He could have been sent here from another one without report of superior officers. Well, this is all the time I have for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Terra Cactus, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.